Welcome back to Lions News Fan Report, where we bring you the latest and most exciting sports news every single day. Today, we're diving into what could be the most seismic offseason move for Detroit since drafting Aiden Hutchinson. The potential acquisition of All-Pro edge rusher Trey Hendrickson. Imagine pairing one of the NFL's premier young defenders with a proven veteran who has exploded for 17.5 sacks in each of the past 2 seasons. An edge tandem so fearsome it strikes dread into opposing quarterbacks before the ball is even snapped. Detroit's brass has been clear all spring. This roster is built to win now. After cruising to a 15-2 record and the NFC's top seed in 2024, the Lions saw their Super Bowl dreams derailed by a stout Commanders defense in the divisional round. General Manager Brad Holmes and head coach Dan Campbell both recognize that while the offense hums, the pass rush needs a second star opposite Hutchinson to truly dominate. Enter Trey Hendrickson, a 4-time Pro Bowler whose name has catapulted to the top of trade and free agency boards thanks to his impasse with the Cincinnati Bengals. According to ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, Hendrickson is firmly in a standoff with Cincinnati. At $16 million on his 2025 salary, Hendrickson reportedly has no interest in playing under his current deal, and the communication breakdown between player and front office has left both sides at an impasse. Christopher Knox of Bleacher Report argues that with Hendrickson seeking an exit, Detroit should pounce and make an all-in blockbuster trade offer. What might that package look like? Sources close to the Lions' war room whisper that a 2026 first-round pick, perhaps the pick conveyed to the Bengals in another deal, could be the opening bid, sweetened by a swap of seconds and a veteran role player. But rendering Hendrickson. A Lion isn't just about draft capital, it's about crafting a supercharged pass rush duo. Picture the regular season shootouts in Ford Field. Opponents constantly scanning over their shoulder at Hutchinson's explosive bull rush, only to see Hendrickson slip off blocks and unleash a bend-and-rip move that doubles sack numbers. In 2024, Hendrickson led all edge players with 83 total pressures and earned his first All-Pro nod, finishing second in Defensive Player of the Year voting. His relentless motor and savvy hand usage complement Hutchinson's raw power pitch. Together, they could form the most disruptive edge tandem since Dwight Freeney and Robert Mathis terrorized offenses in Indianapolis. Of course, Detroit would also need to lock Hendrickson into a long-term deal. The expectation is that once the trade is complete, the Lions would offer a new contract north of $30 million per year, on par with Max Crosby's $35.5 million and Myles Garrett's $40 million launch pads. That investment would come with immense reward. Not only do you shore up your D-line for at least the next 4 seasons, but you also signal to the entire locker room and the league that Detroit is singularly focused on championship contention. The ripples extend beyond the field, season ticket renewals climb, free agency buzz intensifies, and the Super Bowl or bust mantra becomes more than just lip service. Critics will cry overpay or rebuild through the draft. But Detroit's window is open now. They've replenished their secondary, fortified their offensive front, and weaponized their receiving core behind Jared Goff's precise arm. What's left is a pass rush that can win games in January and February. Bringing in Hendrickson would tip the scales, making this defense as feared as any in recent memory. And if Holmes can pull off this audacious move, the city of Detroit may finally get the Lombardi celebration it's waited a lifetime for. Next, we'll break down the potential salary cap mechanics, the ripple effects on the Lions' 53-man roster, and how rival teams are already adjusting their own offseason blueprints in anticipation of Detroit's boldest strike yet. But before we dive into the cap gymnastics and every knock-on ripple, I want to hear from you. Smash that like button if you think the Lions should pull the trigger on Trey Hendrickson, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss another breaking rumor, and drop your boldest prediction in the comments. Will Detroit land this All-Pro edge rusher, and if so, what pick should they give up? Trade and cap scenario. Let's say Detroit sends a first-rounder in 2026 and a swap of second-round picks to Cincinnati. On his current $16 million salary for 2025, acquiring Hendrickson immediately adds significant cap hit, but by negotiating a new extension, say 4 years, $120 million total, averaging $30 million per year, the Lions could spread out cap charges, creating year-one flexibility. That would likely push Detroit into the luxury tax, but given the push for a championship window, the front office has made clear they're all in. In this scenario, Hendrickson's first-year cap number might be in the mid-$20 million range, HUHUs. Premium, yes, but one well spent on a game wrecker who can change a season with a single dominant half. Roster impact and depth chart. Adding Hendrickson flips Detroit's edge depth chart upside down. Aiden Hutchinson remains the primary force, with Hendrickson only a step behind. Marcus Davenport, returning on a one-year prove-it deal, slides into a rotational role alongside rookie third-rounder Ahmed Hassanin and veteran Al-Quadin Muhammad. This creates a four-man rotation capable of maintaining relentless pressure while keeping snaps fresh. On early downs, Detroit can deploy base fronts with both stars threatening off the edge. On third downs and in sub-packages, they can send extra heat, forcing quick throws and potential turnovers. Opposing offensive coordinators would have nightmares scheming against that duo, and offensive lines across the NFC North would feel the squeeze every Sunday. Beyond the X's and O's, the locker room effect is massive. Hendrickson is renowned for his leadership. Four-time Pro Bowler, respected by teammates, and known to mentor younger pass rushers. Dan Campbell's culture of heart over height thrives on players who lead by example. Imagine Hendrickson's energy seeping into special teams, covering kicks with the same fervor he brings to the pocket. Rookie camp becomes a proving ground under his watchful eye, instilling professional habits day one. The message to the rest of the roster: you want rings, you earn them. And nothing sets that tone more than signing a bona fide All-Pro. Of course, this blockbuster wouldn't exist in a vacuum. Rival front offices, Green Bay, Minnesota, Chicago, are already speculating how to counter Detroit's revamped pass rush. Could the Packers pursue a big-ticket tackle upgrade? Might the Vikings double down on multiple defensive front seven acquisitions? Are the Bears eyeing high-upside middle linebackers to offset Detroit's trench power? We could be looking at an entire division reshaped by one bold trade. And across the league, every contender not named Buffalo or Kansas City will be assessing their own edge options. Max Crosby's extension, Myles Garrett's colossal contract, wondering if they, too, must spend spree or risk falling behind Detroit's front runners. Now, let's get to that burning question. Will it actually happen? Sources close to Brad Holmes suggest the GM has already had preliminary calls with his Bengals counterpart, gauging willingness to negotiate. The buzz in NFL circles is that Cincinnati's asking price is high but not prohibitive, especially if Detroit can move strategically around other cap commitments. The next 2 weeks, leading up to the June roster cut deadline, are critical. If Holmes doesn't secure Hendrickson by then, he risks losing the trade market entirely or ceding ground to another suitor. But if he pulls it off, Detroit's defense transforms overnight, creating a legitimate Super Bowl favorite. So, what do you think? Is the price too steep, or a championship investment worth every penny? Hit like, share this video with your fellow Lions faithful, and subscribe to Lions News Fan Report for exclusive updates. Drop your trade package proposal in the comments. What picks and players would you give up? And don't forget to turn on notifications so you'll be the first to know when Trey Hendrickson officially lands in Detroit. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Lions!